Searching for a world that doesn't exist. Searching for a world that does not exist is an ARG created by Wifies. Get used to him being mentioned because half of these are from him. This ARG is about our Sky Wars god, Avery, discovering a pre-existing Minecraft world on a laptop with this spooky mine. A chest containing a book Avery insists he did not write warns repeatedly, at the crossroads, don't turn left. Now, to any sensible person, they'd probably assume this laptop was owned by some delusional schizophrenic person and move on, but not Avery. They descend further into this cave. The world itself behaves unnaturally, with features such as underground trees, enormous moss-covered caverns, and tunnels that seem to shift on their own. Avery realizes something else is following him in a single-player world. But unlike 99% of ARG protagonists, Avery is actually smart. Oh wait, no. The person we've been watching is actually someone named Dearlord. Through traps, backup traps, and understanding the game, through setting his game mode to peaceful to avoid starving and just breaking through traps, Dearlord explores further down this world, knowing of the entity pursuing him. In the crossroads, curiosity about what's on the left causes him to go through the gates, where he's given a little spook. He runs all the way back and is revealed to have written the book warning Avery. So what did he see? To put it shortly, the ARG is based on the book The King in Yellow by Robert W. Chambers. What Dearlord most likely saw was the king himself, who was warned in the town. King in Yellow is an eldritch cosmic deity, capable of driving anyone who sees it to complete madness, with the knowledge of everything that has, can, and will ever exist. The king continuously lures in new victims to drive them insane by preying on their curiosity. So knowing Avery will probably be lured next, Dearlord is trying to prevent it. Also, just saying, but this ARG got me so invested in the story that I bought the actual book. Anyways, like all my other videos, I'll rank them based on how dangerous they are. Finding a player who doesn't exist. Searching for a player that does not exist is an ARG, again created by Wifies, where he gets DM'd by this lad named Crafty, who wants to know what happened to his mate called Alex after he got chronically addicted to playing Minecraft. It's about the exploration of videos about a Minecraft server called Eternal, where a player named Alex mysteriously disappears into a nightmarish cycle of psychological manipulation and forced immersion. It involves deciphering governmental files, by the way, but we'll get there. It begins normally at first, with Crafty and Alex playing together on a server filled with a lot of other peeps, but quickly escalates as Alex experiences strange sightings of a black player, questioning if it's one of the other players, and unexplainable glitches. It turns out that the server was a part of the sinister Department of Metaphysical Sciences and its subdivision, Archive, which appears to be using the server to forcefully create chronically online Skywars players. Here's the agreement Alex accepted before playing. Also, it's presumed Alex is a child, and last I checked, kids cannot sign contracts. Alex becomes increasingly entranced, following cryptic instructions, playing long after everyone quits. It all culminates in him mining bedrock endlessly for 6 years and ignoring outside contact. The government uses a systematic program designed to control his behavior, stripping everything and everyone he once knew. Alex transforms into a trance-like drone with tubes connected to supply him with nutrients. A kid. So, yeah, kids, don't trust governments. My Minecraft world is deleting itself. This ARG is about our boy Mason as he records the gradual erasure of his survival world, chunk by chunk. Mason holds extreme attachment to this castle, as it was built by Danny, his homie, with whom he shared this world. The ARG goes through all 5 stages of grief as Mason refuses to let the world die, repeatedly repairing Danny's castle, treating it as the heart of the world and the one structure he refuses to abandon, meaning that Danny is probably not with us anymore. In the Nether, Mason sees a road with blocks scattered, which he frantically runs back from. It means Danny most likely was game-ended in a traffic accident, and Mason doesn't want to lose the last remaining thing he has of him. Eventually, everything except a tiny portion of the castle remains, suspended over nothing. Realizing the world cannot be saved, Mason finally accepts it and destroys the last blocks. Alpha Minecraft channel only live streams. This Minecraft ARG by ZachoBuilds is about this goober finding a random old channel that live streams Minecraft alpha content. It is created by a child called Consciousness, or Con for short. Zach watches the live streams daily, probably not having anything better to do. The kid's parent is apparently the psycho dad because he is only allowed 30 minutes per day and isn't even allowed to stream. Khan leaves hidden messages through signs and windows of his Hong Kong apartment houses, all of which basically hint that he is trapped and monitored by a man in the house he is stuck in. Khan usually wanders off to this other house, in which he constantly practices the same motion, which is later concluded to be a way to escape the house. The person who has him apparently did not like this and burnt it. After Zach decodes these clues that somehow a child made a fully grown adult puzzled, he discovers an address that points to a real home in the United States, which is narrowed down to the most boring state, Michigan. Khan eventually provides a password that allows access to the connected Gmail and YouTube account, and confirming that the current streams are unfortunately not a hoax, but are coming from a child in danger. Zach does the first sensible act of sending an anonymous tip to the police, resulting in a police report stating that a missing boy named Levi was found inside the home while the kidnapper escaped. However, Levi's birthday, description of a basement, and memories do not match what Khan showed in the streams. There were 2 kids in the house. Khan and Levi were separate children, and there had always been 2 kids in the house. Khan doesn't enter the caves, which are dark, cold, and gray, because they reminded him of the basement that he wasn't allowed in, the basement where Levi was kept. So, yeah, kids, if something happens to you but you only have access to a laptop, not a phone, use built-in calling apps like FaceTime Audio for Mac and Google Voice for Windows to dial 911. Last TikTok video before he vanished. The next ARG follows TikTok user Pickle, who posts Minecraft slideshows about his Minecraft world on the Xbox 360 Legacy Edition, which, remember, cannot use mods. But anyway, he sees a strange figure stalking him. So what does Pickle do? That's right, he sets up a Herobrine shrine. As to no one's surprise, even scarier stuff happens as he finds a school, the average LA resident, and a well. Pickle is stubborn about letting this world go, which he later does, because he started it with his older brother. Pickles' brother did a lot of bad stuff, struggled with mental health issues, got institutionalized, and unfortunately passed away. In that world, Pickle finds a journal where his brother describes being stalked, tormented, and psychologically broken by the same entity, losing sleep, hearing claws at the windows, and eventually reaching a point of complete despair. That building he had earlier found can be compared to a psychiatric facility, especially the iron doors being unbreakable, which can be noted in Pickles' brother being unable to escape. A world that knows you. This ARG is about Liam, who downloads the spooky Minecraft world, where an anomaly that is faster than light stalks and torments him. Every time he logs in, Liam is given a new task in this book. Unlike most other protagonists, Liam is extremely arrogant and reckless, constantly wrecking shit up, like using spectator mode. Eventually, he gets really creeped out, because it starts getting too personal as it starts to force him to confront memories tied to his father's death in a woodcutting accident at Acadia National Park, the location hidden within manipulated splash text coordinates. But Liam is offered $20, so he continues. The 10th anomaly tells him he didn't have a choice if he chose wrong, which shows Liam feels guilt about the accident, probably because in the story, he acts very recklessly. Steve is also a real, actual person who is doing all of this for no other reason than fun, tormenting this person. Also, the file apparently can access what his room looks like and his computer. He's eventually stopped, but it is revealed that he has other victims. Server members going missing. This ARG is about the Astral SMP, where children slowly disappear one by one. In Minecraft, nothing actually happens to them. Mason is bored and wants to play on an SMP with Barry, who can't use they and their, and creates a plugin where everyone is invisible, and you cannot tell who's who, and the only way to see is by being in a bed. Besides them, there are Leah, MJ, who are siblings, and Winter. Strange events begin, griefing and a carved pumpkin figure abducting players by staring at them until they combust. Leah disappears first, then M and J. To this point, Mason susses Winter, whose base is suspicious. But Mason is wrong because Barry, and finally Winter, are also taken. The Discord accounts are banned, and only Barry reaches out to Mason. It's realized the culprit was switching between accounts, and on signs, cannot use the right there. Barry banned each player one by one and blamed Winter, so only Mason interacts with him. He coded the invisibility plugin, had back-end access, and every disappearance happened when he was conveniently offline or silent. disturbing world changes every time I log out. This Minecraft ARG is for once not about a boogeyman. It's about a player's psychological journey through a world that shifts every time they log in. This basically just symbolizes that our homeboy is afraid of change and the loss of stability. The distorted biomes, looping mazes, cryptic messages, and hostile terrain reflect the player's growing anxiety as their environment becomes unpredictable and unrecognizable. Every time the goober logs off, he always is thrown into a different location when what they really want is to be back in their gorgeous $5 million Los Angeles mansion. End of the ARG, the player finally recognizes the fact everything is always going to change and finally finds their home again, reaching acceptance.